Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your uber bossy fitness pro from Fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, I have a ton of great questions I'm going to answer. That's right, we're doing Q's and A's. Thank you to everybody who submitted their questions. I'm getting so many lately, which I freaking love. Also, I just saw in my little podcast stat chart that we're getting a ton of listeners from England. So cheerio. I'm sure actually they're not going to listen to me ever again because I said cheerio. I know you aren't all Mary Poppins and Bert, but what else? Thanks for listening to the Fitzness Show, friends in England. So before we get to the Q's and A's, I'm going to tell you the things because that's what I do. I tell you the things. So my big celebration, my big high point of last week is I finished the freaking photo shoot for my new book. And I'm thrilled. I'm so happy. You know why? I'm happy because it's over with. That's really it. I mean, some things, it always makes me sad when a race director at the end of the day, they'll say they're so happy their event is over with because I feel like, no, this was an experience. And it was such a wonderful experience. I want you to relish and savor all the goodness. Of course, those race directors are working their tails off, but with a photo shoot, nothing to relish. It's just, get it done. So my photographer, Phil Stokes, he's excellent. My intern, Isa, came to help, and she was very, very helpful. We used the brand new hot yoga studio room at Gainesville Health and Fitness Center, the most beautiful gym in the world. And yeah, got it done with. And I feel good about it. I've tried to look through the photos to see if I like them and which ones I'm going to use, but there's so many. Phil took thousands, so it's a little overwhelming, but he's going to weed out the garbage photos, ones that are definitely not going to be used, and hopefully that'll help me figure out which ones I do and don't like. But congratulations to me. Everybody clap your hands wherever you are. That's right. Stomp your feet, pump one fist up in the air. Photo shoot over. And I feel like a free woman. So hooray for me. Also, speaking of books, I, for the very first time ever, have added a free shipping code to my website for these books. So if you want my Noisy Cancer Comeback, my memoir, Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't have that book with me, and then the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. But the memoir is something, my Noisy Cancer Comeback is something everybody could read, whether you have cancer or not. The other two books are specific for cancer patients. And if you love someone with cancer, know that exercise and quality nutrition can help a person reach remission. And so if you want them to have more success, either tell them about the books or get them the books. It's free shipping. The code, by the way, is free ship with no space between, FREESHIP. But yeah, we have a lot of control over our outcomes, not perfect control, but we can do better and be better and make the process a whole less horrible if we are exercising and choosing quality nutrition. So discount code is free ship at Fitzness.com. That encompasses all the books, and you can send them to someone you care about. Please and thank you, or don't, whatever. It's up to you. Okay, so we are going to talk about my weekend and then get into the Q's and A's. So I was just in Michigan this weekend. Flew into Detroit. I worked in the Flint area. I don't know if you've ever been to Flint, but Flint is just fine. The facility we were at for Mud Girl was great. And we had such a wonderful event. The weather was a little more merciful this week. It was still not maybe 90, but 90 is a lot cooler than 95. Believe it or not, that 5 degrees when you're up at those high temperatures really makes such a difference. So I didn't get my ass kicked as hard this weekend as I normally do. Normally, especially if we have a ton of runners, I work my tail off. I work nonstop. And then to do so in the 95-degree heat, the feels like 105 heat, it can be pretty taxing. But this was a little more leisurely this weekend, and I really appreciated that. So I had a couple of athletes that really rung my bell. You know, people, I love everybody And the people who come by with big smiles, I'm really excited about them. Sometimes people have their arms crossed and they look at me all skeptical, and you can see in their mind they're saying, I'm not going to have fun with you, noisy lady. Stop trying to make me have fun. And those people kind of make me sad, because why not have fun, right? Why not have a good time given the opportunity? If someone's playing music, you could shake your thing. You should shake your thing. That's, I mean, isn't that in the 10 commandments type thing? Like, when funky music is played, you shake your thing. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while. But anyhow, those people make me a little bit sad. But then I just get some awesome, meaningful stories, and some of them are tear jerkers. And we had two tear jerkers this weekend that just really, I wish I had the magic wand. I wish I could fix the situation for these folks, and unfortunately I do not. But it's also a testament of their unstoppable nature and how they're going to try to make lemonade no matter what. And so the first was this woman, Heather, who she came with a big crew of supporters. They all had black shirts with pink writing. It was she had breast cancer, and I brought her up on the stage, or to the stage, with a handful of other women who have previously had breast cancer. But she came up, she was bald in her headband. She looked great. I invited her on my stage, but she said she couldn't physically, she couldn't get up on the stage. But she told me she was living with stage 4 breast cancer. It had metastasized, which is tough. And, just had her over, and the whole crowd starts chanting, Heather, Heather. I mean, it's just so meaningful how people care. They're all in on supporting others. And it doesn't matter what color people are, or where they pray, or what they wear. If you need support, this running community, the obstacle course race community, is just the kindest, most supportive group of humans ever. And I get to witness it weekend after weekend, and it's so meaningful. But yeah, Heather came over, and I was trying to give her some words of encouragement based off the things that I've experienced and things that I've seen. For example, at the Donna National Marathon, Finish Breast Cancer, each year I grab all the survivors as they come through the finish line. And I always meet these women who say, I'm living with stage 4 breast cancer. I have breast cancer. Oh, and by the way, that woman just did our marathon at 2:45. She's flying, she's living large. And so looked like things were in pretty bad shape for Heather, but her family was with her, and a lot of young men, I'm guessing her sons, maybe nephews, who knows. But as I was talking to Heather, they were sobbing. You could see, I'm looking out into the crowd, and I could just see them heartbroken. It was, it's just tough. It's just tough. However, look what they did. Their mom or aunt or sister, or whoever Heather is to them, they decided that they were going to go have some fun. They were going to go live life. They were going to make memories together. And that's one of the things that was really obvious to me when I was going through treatment. I hit a point where it was after my 6th round of the really mean chemo, and I was in catastrophic shape. Everything was so bad. And I do write about this in my Noisy Cancer Comeback, but I had gotten to a place where everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. And I couldn't eat, and I was so sick, and it was compounding problems. And so I flew from Denver, announcing a race in the 100-degree heat, a mile high in the sky, to Orlando. And I could have just come home. I could have gone into the oncology center to get IV fluids and rest. But my daughter Ginger was competing in a cheerleading competition in Orlando. And so instead of flying home to rest, I took my beat up body to Orlando. And after a really rough night, I showed up in this arena. And, I had a couple epiphanies that day. One of them was sad. One of them was really happy. One of them was that I finally understood why people discontinue treatment. I decided at that point, I thought, well, gosh, if it was never going to get any better than it is now, right? If I'm never going to recover from feeling like this, I too would discontinue treatment. I finally, I had that epiphany. Oh, this is why people give up. And you hate to even use the word give up, but it is. You're just saying, I can't do it anymore. I won't do it anymore. And there's some intelligence to that decision, especially if you feel the way I felt. But I also had another really important revelation that day as I sat in the arena watching Ginger and probably a couple thousand other young women and men cheer. Is even though I felt horrible, I was so happy to be where I was, right? I was so grateful to be sitting in that arena watching my daughter shine and watching her friends and a whole bunch of kids I didn't even know. And so at that point, I thought, you know what? If people are dying and they know they're going to die, right? You've got a month to live. I hate it when doctors give expiration dates, but let's just pretend. Okay, we'll take every freaking second of that month and do something great with it. If you can, go see a movie, go to church, go to your friend's house, have your friends come to see you. I have a very good friend in the running community, Carl Brandt. Bless his heart, he's dealing with prostate cancer, end stages. He's in hospice care. And every day he posts a photo with some friends that are coming to visit him. I just love it. And sometimes people with cancer, and excuse me for getting off on the cancer tangent. I didn't mean this show to be about this, but sometimes they hit me, right? But sometimes when someone's dying, their family protects them by not allowing loved ones come to see them. And I think, no, this is the time. You have days left. The dying person, trust me, will be better off seeing all their loved ones, even if they get a cold, right? Even if they get a cold in the middle of their dying process. It's okay. It's okay. Let the loved ones in. And if you are sick, if you are dying, and go live, go take advantage of every day you have. So that's just my opinion. But I looked at Heather and her family, and Heather, badass. She was there ready to do the obstacle course race. I'm not sure how many of the obstacles she could do. It doesn't matter. She did one or she did zero. She was out there with her people doing something wonderful. And every last one of them, as long as they remain on earth, they will remember that day, that adventure with Heather. And so I hope that's you, not the dying part, not the cancer part, but I hope you can learn from that, right? That you can go out and live. And then, so the next one really blew my mind. So I send our athletes off in waves. We often have 10,000 people, 5,000 people per day. I can't send them off at the same time. I can only send about 100 athletes off at a time because the obstacles can only support so many athletes at a time. And we don't want people just waiting with their arms crossed board on the course. And so 100 go, and then I have a few minutes to do silly stuff to connect with our athletes in the next wave. And then I huddle them up. We do a little mud girl chant, and then I yell go, and they leave. So I get this group to huddle. There's 100 of us with our hands in. And then this woman comes up from behind, and she's walking slow. And I would say she's in her 50s in some way. She's got short gray hair. She's got a man holding her shoulders as they walk forward. Now, sometimes I tell people, don't creep into this huddle. You got to wait for the next. But she came forward, and I knew better that there was something going on. And so she comes in, and I just looked at her. I didn't say anything, but she said, I'm coming in because I needed his help walking forward. My daughter just died, and we were supposed to do this race together. Oh, and just, I live for Ginger. I live for Parker. Every parent could feel that, right? Just the agony for this woman who clearly had a wonderful relationship with her daughter. Even if they didn't, the pain still must be excruciating. So this man was holding her shoulders because she needed the courage and the stability to get into her huddle. And so I asked her, what was your daughter's name? And she said, Tessa. And with that, all the women in the huddle started chanting, Tessa, Tessa. Oh, it was so sweet. And so I asked her a little bit about her daughter. She told me it was Tessa was 30 and that they ran races together. And Tessa was supposed to be there doing Mud Girl with her mom that day. So just what the hell? I mean, life is full of such awful things going on. And then there's these individuals who can just rise above, right? She showed up to do the mud run without her daughter. How brave, how beautiful, how difficult, how incredible. But how many people are sitting at home going, I can't do a mud run. Oh, I couldn't do it. Really? Really? Huh. I want to take all of the excuse makers on the planet and line them up with Heather and line them up with Tessa's mom, and then see how you can make those excuses. Life is short. You never know when one of us is going to get hit by a bus or abducted by aliens. Do something. Go do great things. Don't take any gifts for granted, any days for granted. And if something bad happens, do like Heather. Do like Tessa's mom and go make lemonade. Go figure out how to live better for it. In fact, my friend Phil Decker who he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in 2020. He's incredible. I mean, he's had surgeries and chemo and he's done all sorts of stuff. And thankfully he's cancer free. He's doing great. But in the midst of his treatment for stage 4 colon cancer, he started a Tell 5 Friends Foundation. And because of that, he has encouraged so many people to go get colonoscopies. And that's Phil's message. So I'm going to share it with you. Go get your freaking colonoscopy. Is it awkward? Maybe. The prep, they villainized the prep. It's 12-hour, 24 hours of hell. It's not that bad. We've all used the restroom before. Big deal. You sit on the toilet a little bit longer than you would have on that day. And then by the time you wake up from your procedure, it's done, it's over with, and you can go have a sandwich. So yeah, please get your colonoscopy on behalf of Phil. And again, he's out there living large. He's supposed to do Grand Canyon, rim to rim. He's climbed mountains. He's living like every day matters. So I hope every one of your days matters too. Okay, so I've got one more thing to tell you, and then I'll get to the Q's and the A's. And we will be right back. Hi, team. If you're taking my great advice for going outside and getting active, make sure when you do, you're also protecting your skin. I'd like to share with you my favorite sunscreen. It is Kinesis Active. It is built for active folks like you and me, whether you play pickleball or you run races or you go swimming. Kinesis Active was built just for us. It's lightweight, it's hypoallergenic, it goes on gently and smoothly. It smells great and it does the job. You know what? I'll be out in the sun for hours on end. And of course, I reapply regularly, but if I have Kinesis Active, I'm not burning. I'm not burning anymore. You know what really matters to me is when I wear their Kinesis Active Pro Lip Balm. My lips aren't chapping, they aren't blistering, they aren't splitting. And holy mackerel, does that mean a lot? So when you go outside, give this brand a try. It's not the common stuff you see on your pharmacy shelves. It's above and beyond. And you know, I put my life in their hands. I had my father and maternal grandmother die of melanoma, and I believe this is the stuff that's going to keep me from sharing that fate. It's KINESYS active.com. Go do a little shopping. Tell them Fitz sent you. Get to work, team. Bye. We're back. So I was flying home from Michigan on Sunday night, Detroit to Atlanta, Atlanta to Gainesville. And as I'm driving, I just actually left lunch with a friend, Eva, my race director for the epic races in Michigan. Oh, and I had dinner with Kelly Prevet and Katie Stefaniak on Saturday night. Thanks to those ladies for coming to see me. Kelly did the race. Katie just came to visit. She had something she was dealing with, but they both had custom Fitzness shirts. They were so cute. Kelly said, "Filthy Fitzness Fiend," which I love. Thank you. Thank you. It's so meaningful to me, very heartwarming, but just awesome to see friends, right? To be somewhere else on the other side of the country and have some friends to hang out with is just a treat. We went to Mexican food and it was wonderful. So anyways, I leave lunch on Sunday with Eva and Luann, and I get gas. Now I'm going straight to the airport. I don't know, maybe 2 hours to my flight takes off. But as I take off from the gas station, I get a message from Delta that says your flight is at an hour late. And I thought, dang it. Because I just left my friends. I could have hung out another hour, but whatevs. I'll go to the airport. I got to return the car anyway. So as I'm getting closer to the airport, it says, now your flight is 2 hours late. Dang it. Now your flight is 3 hours late. Double dang. And then I realized I'm not going to make my connection back to Gainesville. And so I really was hoping that the flight from Atlanta to Gainesville would be delayed. That would have been the perfect scenario. Just one late flight to another late flight. And then I could make it back in my own bed with my doggos on Sunday night or Monday morning, but that did not happen. And so if you travel, you should know that if the final flight of the night cannot get you where you're going to be, if your flight is delayed because of mechanical issues, if it's their fault or their crew didn't show up or something, they are responsible for putting you up in a hotel. If there's weather, they will not have to pay for you. So you could leave the airport and go rent a hotel and an Uber and stuff. But if it's weather, then they don't have to pay. But if it's mechanical, which my flight was delayed, that pilot got straight on the loudspeaker when we boarded in Detroit. He said, "I'm so sorry. The auxiliary something air conditioning wasn't working. And that's what caused our delay." And I thought, cha-ching, now I get my hotel room. So when I got off the flight, I got on with the Diamond Medallion support line. That's right. I'm fancy pants with Delta because I fly everywhere all the time. And I just said, hey, can you send me a link for free hotel and Uber and stuff because my flight was delayed because of mechanical issues. And within 5 minutes, I had a link on my phone. And the link gave me an option to stay in 4 different hotels in Atlanta, premium, beautiful hotels. I chose the one that was closest. It was Hotel Indigo, which is right in the heart of Atlanta, in the city. So pretty. And then they also gave me a link for Uber to the hotel and an Uber from the hotel back to the airport in the morning. I was rebooked on the 8 a.m. flight. And then they also gave me 2 different meal vouchers, $12 each if I wanted to eat. So they took great care of me. And that's not because I'm fancy Sky Miles customer. That's what they would do to anyone in that circumstance if they ask, if they're smart enough. So Fitzness listeners, be smart enough to ask. And that, I believe, is for all airlines. So anyways, it's 11 o'clock when that flight landed in Atlanta. So I get out and I'm making my way towards the ride share, and it's 11:30 finally when I get there, and I order my Uber, and I have to choose what zone. It's zone 1 through 8. So I say, come pick me up at the ride share, zone 1. Then I stand there, and my driver is Zhao. Zhao. And he's in a gray, I don't know, Honda Civic or something like that. And Atlanta Airport, it's the busiest airport in the entire world. That's a fact. But I think it's also the most easily navigated. It's very smooth, you never have to go too far. The furthest you ever have to walk is you could walk half a terminal, get on the plane train, and then you take an escalator up and walk another half a terminal. But it's a very simple layout. And, if I get delayed in Minneapolis, oh my gosh, I basically have to run 2 miles across Minneapolis airport. Some of the airports are huge and difficult. Atlanta is huge and smooth. I love Atlanta. But anyways, when you go on the outside of Atlanta, Atlanta airport, they're crazy. It's chaos on the outside. So I get out to the ride shares, and there's all these trucks and cars and people weaving and traffic. And it's 11:30. I just want to go to bed. I'm fine. I'm just waiting for Zhao. And then all of a sudden I get a message that says, Zhao is here and he's going to leave in 5 minutes. So look for Zhao. I'm standing there, I'm looking for Zhao. There is definitely not a gray Honda Civic. And so I call through Uber. You can hit the call button. So I call, he doesn't answer. I call again, he doesn't answer. I'm thinking, don't leave. I want to go to sleep. Please, please, please. And mind you, I've got a good attitude about it all. There are worse things than being stuck overnight in a town, especially if you have a free hotel and car. I just decided, whatever, this is fine. But I really want to go to sleep. So he's not answering. And then I text Zhao and I say, hey, Zhao, I'm here. I'm the blonde with the pink suitcase. And then he responds in Chinese. I start getting all of these Chinese symbols coming through my phone. And I'm not one to panic, but if you could have heard the words that flew out of my face at that moment, I was like, Jesus, effing whatever. And so some guy comes over, he's like, are you okay? I said, look, my Uber driver, he's responding in Chinese. What do I do? He goes, well, plug it into Google Translate and let's see what he says. So it was so smart. So I start copying the little Chinese symbols and trying to open up Google Translate. Well, right as I started to do that, Zhao comes running up. He had accidentally parked in zone 5. Thankfully, he got his butt up out of his car and came and found the blonde with the pink suitcases. But it was a few moments of what the hell. It was, I was a little desperate. If he would have driven off, I certainly could have found another Uber, but boy, was I sad. I was pretty darn sad because I thought, Chinese, this is never going to work. We're never going to find each other. So anyways, that happened and I survived. Oh, and when I got to my little hotel room, which was very cute and posh, very stylish, I had a princess bed, which made me happy because you know what? Princess bed sometimes makes things all better. And obviously I am serious princess material. So okie dokie, on to your questions. Thank you for listening to the things that I wanted to share. Okay, so this question is from Chloe Martin, and she says, Fitz, how do you balance being a public figure in fitness with your own personal health journey? You know, what's interesting is I actually usually try to keep my fitness out of it. And I don't know if that's the right answer, but I like the spotlight to be on you. So I can connect a lot through my Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge group on Facebook. Again, Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge on Facebook. If you'd like to join, I'd love to have you. It's where I guide people towards fitness and encourage them. And then I have thousands of the world's nicest regular Joes and Janes trying to get fit, supporting each other. But I don't post a lot of pictures of me exercising because I figure everyone probably thinks, duh, of course she's exercising. Why does she have to rub it in our face all the time that she's exercising? Big whoop. The fitness expert is exercising. Who would have thought? And so I actually am pretty personal about my workouts. I just show up at the gym like everybody else and do my thing. I get on my own treadmill and go for walks with my dogs or whatever I do. I just do it. And I don't really shine much of a spotlight on what I'm doing with fitness. So the other thing is I don't feel any radical pressure to be something I'm not. And poor Rudy Novotny, Rudy's probably listening now, rolling his eyes saying, oh God, here she goes, throwing me under the bus again. But we have this one thing in common, right? That we are race announcers. We are figureheads at a race event. So Rudy has a long history of being a very talented runner. He was a super speedster. He won races. I've never won a race. I won silver in my age group once, but I mean, I don't have any ego wrapped up in my personal running. I go to run because I like to, because it keeps my body healthy. I run races because I think they're fun, but I'm not out to impress anybody. But Rudy actually feels a decent amount of pressure to run fast while he's racing. So, and boy, he's still a very fast, talented runner who can run really far. But he technically, I don't think will go do a race unless he feels like he's in top form and he can do his best, because he knows that somebody could go look at his time or whatever. I don't know. There's just different things. So I'm actually, whatever I do in the public professionally does not impact my fitness. I am purely driven for selfish purposes. I like my body to be strong. I like it to feel good, have energy, be flexible. I dislike pain. So I exercise religiously in a variety of fun ways. And again, I just don't really showcase it too much because Fitzness is not about me. It's about you. So thank you, Chloe. Sweet question. Lee says, how do you prep mentally before hitting record on these podcasts? Okay, so there's a minor amount of preparation. I organize your questions. I'll take your questions and think, okay, these are the ones I want to answer today. So I do organize that. I usually do that in the notes app on my phone. And then if I have things that I want to talk to you about as things go on, like Heather and Tessa's mom, those were women I thought, I got to share their stories. I got to do it. And of course, the Uber driver, I decided I wanted to tell you about that. So I keep notes in my phone. But I don't know if there's a lot of mental preparation. I just sit down and I start yammering. And you might have picked up on that right now. In fact, if you're not listening, that you may be thinking she doesn't mentally prepare. But yeah, I have an on switch, which is such a blessing. In fact, last night I did a presentation for the California Breast Cancer Group, and there's thousands of those members. But their meetings are Tuesday at 7 Pacific Standard Time. And so that had me get on the computer at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I was tired from the day before, from the travel hoopla, whatever. So last night at about 9:40, I felt like a zombie. I felt so tired. However, I did not fear my ability to connect and perform for those women because I have an on switch. And that really is it for me, is no matter what's going wrong with me, you could be in the process of severing off my legs. And if the on camera went on, I'd snap into Fitz Kohler the way I'm supposed to behave. And so I don't actually do a lot of mental preparation. I'm excited to talk to you, and that's intrinsic. And hopefully you hear it, you feel it as it just flies out of my face while I'm saying all the words. So a little organizational preparation, but I don't really have any mental prep. Sorry. Okay. Avery says, what has been your biggest fail in the kitchen or gym? Okay. In the kitchen, I once put a spaghetti squash in the microwave, and you're supposed to stab holes in the spaghetti squash. I think it's to let out pressure. I don't really understand why, but we have to do it. But I forgot. I put it in the microwave and I put it on for 8 minutes. And I don't know, I was on the phone with someone, and all of a sudden, boom, or should I say kaboom, there was a big explosion. My microwave door flies off. It was dangling by one hinge, and there is spaghetti squash guts everywhere. It's in the microwave. It's on my floor. It's flung itself across the kitchen. So that was certainly my biggest kitchen fail. What was I thinking, right? And my biggest gym fail. And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit Fitzness.com today. That's Fitzness.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Okay, my biggest gym fail was not me exercising, but it was me when I first started working at a fitness center when I was a teenager. I might have been 15. And I started teaching classes, and then I was moved into sales and then eventually assistant manager. But I was doing sales for a spa lady. And this woman comes in, and she's maybe 8 months pregnant, I'm guessing. And she has a guy with her, and I show her around the fitness center. And then I bring her into the little sales office to make the spiel. And as I sit down, I asked her, I said, well, when are you due? And she goes, I'm not pregnant. That's why I'm here. And I just died. What did I know? I was 15. The way this woman carried her extra weight was directly in her abdomen, jetting forward like she maybe had twins. I was so embarrassed. I felt so bad. And that still haunts me. In fact, I will see women who are obviously pregnant, women that I care about, I know. But if I don't know for sure they're pregnant, I won't ask. That was definitely my biggest gym fail. And I will feel bad about that one for the rest of my life. So yeah, kitchen fail, gym fail. Now you know. Sam says, what question do you wish more people asked you? Can you come speak for my company? Maybe that's, I wish I could come and be a part of your entire world and bring Fitzness messaging to all your peers. So yeah, ask me to come speak at your company. Hi. That's what I wish. The other thing though, when I'm a guest on podcasts, I like it when they do fun questions, such as, if you were a superhero, what superhero would you be? And my answer to that, just so you know, is Scream. It's a Marvel character. She's not a hero. She's a super villain, but she makes this, she's a siren, right? She makes this horrific screeching sound. And then she grabs people with her hair and flings them around. And that would definitely be the super villain that I would be. Okie dokie. Carmen Lee wants to know, do you think fitness trackers are helpful, or do they just cause more stress for people trying to be healthy? Well, I've got a few answers. So for someone like me who's already doing the fitness thing, I do it full throttle. I don't wear a watch. I don't monitor anything. I mean, I could do it for funsies, but I don't. So someone like me, if you are on your game and this is a lifestyle for you and there is no risk of you falling short, then I don't know if you need the trackers. It's up to you. However, I also think the trackers can be used in a fantastic way. I mean, they can be awesome for accountability and goal setting and goal keeping. And so if you've got a fitness tracker that helps, that tells you how many steps you've completed today. Well, if you're aiming for 15,000 steps, how are you going to know unless you got the tracker? So that pedometer goes a long way for someone trying to keep track of steps. If you are trying to know if you can run 3.1 miles for a race, well, you're going to have to figure out the distance of 3.1 miles. So either you drive the loop or you put a app on your watch and then you go run and it'll tell you, hey, you've just done 3.1, buddy, good job. I don't have a lot of faith in their calorie counting, their assessment of how many calories you've burned, right? So I would not trust that information. If you do some swing dancing and it tells you, hey, you've burned 900 calories, I don't know if that's true. If you've been on the elliptical for an hour and it tells you you've burned 100 calories or 3,000. I don't believe those things. So I would take that information with a grain of salt. The other place I think fitness tracking is good is if you're someone who likes to put in how much you're lifting, how many push-ups you've done, repetitions or resistance, and then you can use that information to improve on it, to know where you left off and where you're going. That's great. That's great. So really personal preference. I think I'm in the minority that I don't use it. I don't want to use it. I could be convinced perhaps, but I'm also claustrophobic. So I don't like things on my wrist. But yeah, I mean, also heart rate monitoring. That's a good value, especially if you have cardiac issues, if you're pregnant and you're trying to keep your heart rate low. So that's handy, but I don't know. I think most people are using them. There's some really high-end, fancy, expensive choices, and then some more modest choices that are giving you the basic information. And I think all of our phones, my phone is counting steps, even though I don't ask it to, it just does. Now I could poke in also, I did 4 miles on the treadmill last night, but I don't. So it's up to you. It's up to you. If you like them, they're great. If you don't want to use them and you can still keep making progress with fitness, then you should. Okie dokie. Layla wants to know, what are some of the most common mistakes that slow down progress, even when you're being extremely consistent? I would say the lack of huffing, puffing, grunting, wincing, and wobbling. When people get in a routine, I think that could be the kiss of death. Now, it's better to do something, and if you have a routine that gets you out to exercise multiple times a week, well, that's wonderful. I'm not crapping on that. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over, don't ever expect to do better than you are, right? If you're doing the same thing, you will never get better than you are. And so the lack of pushing the envelope, the lack of challenging yourself in all 4 pillars of fitness, I think that's the most common mistake people make, is they say, well, I'm walking. I walk 5 miles every day. Okay, well, why aren't you running? Or why aren't you walking uphill? Or are you increasing your pace? What are you doing just walking 5 miles all the time? That's good. That is good. But what else are you doing? Are you strength training? And the same thing, if you go to the gym and you get on these machines and you lift the same amount every single time, don't expect to see improvements. You'll just stay where you are. And eventually, I think people start to regress when they aren't pushing forward. So it's either you're moving forward or you're sliding backwards. So don't make that mistake. Always go in with a goal to challenge your body, even if it's with 1 extra repetition or 1 extra pound of resistance, or reaching 1 extra inch towards your toe to stretch your hamstrings. But yeah, push the envelope, keep challenging your body, and you'll keep becoming a better version of yourself. And we will be right back. Wouldn't it be fun to feel like a celebrity on race day? Imagine if all the spectators between the start and finish line were calling your name. Well, they would if they could, and that's why you have to tell them by ordering the Name Bib Kit at penandpaces.com. It's a waterproof, tear-proof bib. You can put it on your chest. It comes with 2 sets of alphabet stickers for you to write your name. And so as you cruise on by, everyone can say, go Katie, go Jamal, go Susie, whoever you are, they're going to cheer for you. I promise. It's a special way to race. I ran the Boston Marathon with my name on my sports bra. It felt like everybody in the town of Boston was cheering, go Fitz. And I want that for you too. So head on over to penandpaces.com right now, order your race bib, and have the time of your life. We're back. Okay. Ooh, Alyssa, this is a super cute question. She says, I've been wanting to surprise my husband by planning a date. Do I have any ideas? I say yes. I mean, clearly I'm going to move you to doing something physical. Watching a movie together is just fine. Eating, fine, but it's just eating. Honestly, I don't know why the world makes such a huge deal over families got to eat together. Okay, well, that's nice. I'm not saying it's not nice, but I prefer a family that plays together, right? Can you set up a soccer net and go kick the ball around, or pop the volleyball, or throw a football, or go for a walk, or throw the Frisbee? I mean, there's so many cool things we could do together and still have a conversation and, I don't know, laugh and have adrenaline and be healthy and vibrant together. I think that's really exciting stuff. So for a date, I would do something where touching is encouraged and adrenaline exists. So dancing, obviously lots of touching, especially if you're doing it right. And adrenaline, the song changes. This is your favorite. Maybe you're jumping up and down, or maybe you're bumping and grinding. I don't know how you like to dance with your mister, but yeah, dancing is a great choice. I love sports. I know not every person, not every guy or every gal loves sports, but if you can find a rowdy sport to go enjoy together, whether it's lacrosse or hockey or football or soccer, whatever you can get excited about. And for me, sports, well, I just love sports, but especially if I have skin in the game, if I have any reason to care, right? So my Gators, obviously, I'm full throttle on the Florida Gator, everything. I will go see any and every Gator sport and cheer and feel emotionally tied to the outcomes. So that's great. But maybe you've got a pro football, a pro baseball. Maybe you have a nephew that plays little league basketball. Okay. Well, go there on your date. And the reason why is because you have those adrenaline spikes watching him bounce the ball, score the point, or trying to score and failing. And then your heart is racing and you're looking at each other and you're high-fiving and you're hugging and you're cheering together. I just think those things are really meaningful. And you can even get that type of love, that intimacy, that exciting connection if you go and do axe throwing, right? Or you go do bowling. There's so much opportunity. If points are being scored, points are being defended, you can, I think it's just a really fun way to connect and have some excitement in your date. It's not just eating and watching a movie. You're getting giggly and maybe you're competing with each other, which is fun. Maybe you let him win a game that you're really good at because you love him and he gets his ego built up and he's poofing up his chest and maybe he treats you nice a little later. You know what I'm saying? So love that. And then of course, obstacle course racing. What a fun thing to do on a date because you're climbing on each other. You have to hold each other's hands to pull each other over the wall or out in the mud. It's a giggle fest, and my words of wisdom, because geez, am I so damn wise, right? The wisest of the wise. You could see my long gray beard forming is don't get competitive. Don't get too competitive, right? A little friendly competition, right? If I throw this axe and it lands in the bullseye, you have to XYZ for me later, whatever that is, or vice versa. But yeah, don't be upset if he can do more pull-ups than you, or hopefully he won't be upset if you can do more pull-ups than him. I mean, that's not the purpose of a date. The purpose of the date doing physical stuff is to support each other and have fun and encourage each other. So if you go in with that mindset, wow, let's see what we can accomplish together, then I think it'll be an awesome date. And I hope you get lucky. Okie dokie. Because he's your husband. You can still get lucky. All right. Final question. I don't even have a name attached to this one. I'm so sorry. Whose ever question it was. It says, I feel like I'm constantly hungry, even after eating full meals. What should I be eating or doing differently? Definitely can fill your plate up with more protein and more fiber. Those are the nutrients. Those are the ingredients that will promote satiety. Satiety is the fancy word for feeling of fullness. So if you have a plate of Cheez-Its or you have a plate of bread or plain white pasta, it's not likely to fill you up unless you eat a gargantuan amount. But if you ate an apple and 5 shrimp, you're likely to feel full pretty quickly and maybe at 200 calories. And so protein and fiber, get healthy choices of both. But yeah, protein and fiber, that should fill you up. And not only through that one meal, but maybe you can add a little protein and fiber throughout your day to make sure you never hit that place where you're hangry and feeling like you need to eat the earth, because I've been there. Nobody likes that feeling. Okie dokie. That was all the A's to your Q's. Thank you for sending them. If you haven't sent a question or you have more questions to send, you can always send them to Fitzness on Instagram, fitzness.com. It's easy to find me, folks. Fitzness everywhere. Okay, so my communication tip of the week is update your LinkedIn profile. And if you're not on LinkedIn and you're a professional, you should be. I do not work for LinkedIn. I just think it's an incredible way to connect with other professionals in various fields and maybe your alumni base from your school. It's a great way to do business, increase business, or just increase your connections. So when you do your LinkedIn profile, make sure you have a nice photo. A nice smiling or professional photo goes a long way. If you don't have a good one, put on a cute work outfit and whatever you work. I mean, if you're an umpire, get your little umpire outfit on and have that photo taken. But maybe it's a shirt, a tie, or a dress, or whatever makes you look like the right choice in your field. You can have that photo taken on an iPhone by your bestie or your kid, or you can set up a tripod. That's right. Lacking words here. A tripod and have your photo taken. But yeah, make sure you have a good LinkedIn profile pic. I always joke with the mud girls because all of our mud girl photography is free. I would say try your darndest to get a good LinkedIn profile picture out there. But whatever, make sure you have a good profile picture. And then, in your what do I do, make sure it's accurate. I am a construction manager. I design underwear. I'm trying to think of good careers. I own a bottled water company. Whatever it is, make sure it's something easily decipherable that other people can understand. And don't get weird with it. I love it. Sometimes I like when people get weird, but there's a person, and this person's a total jerk, by the way. The person is one of my mean girls. I mentioned this, but this mean girl puts on her profile, she's a visionary. Are you effing kidding me? What does that tell people about you other than you have the craziest ego on earth and you just think you're the best I'm a visionary? Maybe not. So make sure you have a good LinkedIn profile if you're still in the working world. I've just assigned my interns to update their LinkedIn profiles. Make sure they have a nice pic and a good description. And you never know. You never know when your business gets flooded and disappears, or you get fired, or the company gets sold. Maybe there's another opportunity for you if you are well connected and have a decent presence on LinkedIn. That actually may go a long way. Okay. And then song of the show comes from the new Superman movie. If you haven't seen it, I liked it pretty good. Ginger and Parker thought it was great. Loved it. We walked out of there and Ginger says, I need to get a Superman t-shirt, which I thought was adorable. Yes, honey, my treat. Buy yourself a Superman shirt. But I didn't like Lex Luthor. I tell you what, he wasn't menacing enough, but overall the movie was it was fine. And the dude who plays Superman nailed it. He's 6'4" and woo-wee can he wear the Superman outfit, costume, whatever we call it. And also it was fun. It was a good movie. I recommend. I give it a B+. So, but at the end of the movie, there's the credits, much like Marvel. DC now does a thing where DC Comics, after the credits roll, you'll get one whole song and then there'll be another little clip, a mystery clip, a surprise, a bonus clip, we'll call it. And then there's another song full of credits. And then there's another bonus clip. So no, with Superman, there's 2 bonus clips. But the first song they play is Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears featuring Iggy Pop. And the second it came on, I thought, yes, I need this song. I Shazammed it. And Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears and Iggy Pop. I'm adding it to the Fitzness playlist on Spotify. If you want to add yourself to that, you can, and listen to my favorite workout songs. But yeah, I encourage you to add Punk Rocker to your workout playlist, whatever you're going to do. You're rock climbing, or you're Olympic lifting, or you're playing ping pong. I don't care. Punk Rocker should be on your playlist. Other than that, I think I'm about donezo. If you haven't done so yet, click subscribe wherever you listen to the Fitzness Show. Maybe share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget my books have that free shipping code, free ship. And know that I love you. And I'll see you next time. Get to work, team. Bye. Mwah.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gift the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz. Morning milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.